So I think we are live now. We'll give a few seconds for everybody to join, just to make sure that everybody is present, everybody's here. So I think we have got the go ahead. Just seeing if everybody's here and if everybody can hear us. Yes. So we've got the green light to go live. Everyone, welcome to the latest series of Air Cover. Today we'll be talking in German as well as in English. Also herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe von Air Cover. Air Cover is an informative and international webinar series by Global University Systems that brings to you some of the most interesting business and business leaders across the globe. What are we going to talk about today? So a topic today is die Macht der Ideen, the power of ideas. Now, do you know what are the key ingredients for some great ideas? If not, then you should stay with us today because you will find out today what are the 4 key ingredients for great ideas. Along with that, we'll be talking about entrepreneurship, we'll be talking about networking and how to conduct successful networking, we'll be talking about effective leadership and innovations and why that's relevant to all of us. We're joined by Ute Weiland, who is the Managing Director of Germany, the Land of Ideas, a platform that welcomes innovative ideas. She'll be talking to you more about it in a minute. Ute, herzlich willkommen.
Vielen Dank, ich freue mich, bei euch zu sein.
Ute, wir freuen uns auch sehr, dass du bei uns dabei bist. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today to share your platform with our staff and students. We are really excited to have you here. Und bevor wir loslegen, Ute, at GUS, we put a lot of emphasis, a lot of importance onto our GUS values. And I would like to tease out one of those values and hear what your thoughts are on collaboration. What does collaboration mean to your initiative? So, was bedeutet Zusammenarbeit für deine Initiative?
So I don't know if we stick in English or we stick to German, but maybe I answer whatever I like, yeah. But
yes, of course, yes.
Maybe it's easier for me to start first in English, and then we can also switch to German, of course.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, collaboration. I think this is also one of the values we are sharing at Germany, Land of Ideas. And collaboration, in my mind, requires good communication, respect, appreciation and trust, and also good collaboration takes into account the strengths of the individual as well as cultural differences and diversity. And this is also exactly the mission at Germany Land of Ideas, to bring creative minds together, to advocate for exchanging ideas with other countries, to seek create encounters and promote international and interdisciplinary dialogue and collaboration. And to do this, we are organizing conferences and ideas competitions. We do publications and exhibitions and young leader networks, for instance. But we don't do this alone. We also need collaborators. We need partners for all our projects. And we look for these strong partners in business, in politics, and in society. And when we look at our peers or partners in collaboration, one key ingredient is also interdisciplinarity. If you like, we can talk about it later, because this also comes with one of the key ingredients of how to get good ideas.
We can't wait to hear more about it. To our viewers, do send questions for Ute in the chat box, and we'll come back to you during the Q&A. Fragen auf Deutsch sind auch willkommen. And you can already start sending your questions now, so you don't have to wait till the end. So let's get started. Ute, just to give our viewers a quick snapshot of your career, you studied music, you were a music teacher, then you founded the Erich Pommer Institute for Media Law and Media Management at the University of Potsdam. You co-edited various publications. From being a music student to founding a platform that has a network of over 3,000 innovative projects. Can you please share an overview of your professional journey? We're very keen to hear, especially our students from our music college, the London College of Creative Media.
Yeah, I know I may have a quite unusual CV. I was born in the former GDR, in the German Democratic Republic. And therefore, I had not so much choice and possibilities for my career. I studied music because I love music. I played the piano, and I wanted to study something apolitical. So I thought music would be a good idea. But then after the war came down, a whole new world opened up for me, and yeah, I just took my chances. And first, I became the assistant to the state secretary in the Ministry of Education and Culture in the state of Saxony, also to be part of the creation of a new educational system. Afterwards, I founded the Erich Pommer Institute. This is an institute for further training in media law and media business at the Potsdam University. And after that, I joined Deutsche Bank, also quite unusual, a financial institution, but not in finance. I worked in the CSR department at the Alfred Herrhausen Society. And here I became the deputy director and was responsible for an international conference series about city development in partnership with the London School of Economics. And finally, 5 years ago, I took over Germany, Land of Ideas. That's in short, my long life.
In short. It's a wunderbare Karrierelaufbahn. It's very impressive to hear that from being a music student to where you are today, and in so many experience in so many fields. It's quite fascinating.
You know, I'm a curious person and I'm open. And whenever I was asked to do something new or interesting, I said yes. And that's still the same. I can't say no.
It's one of the key secrets
Yeah.
to success. So our topic today is the power of ideas. And by taking a look at a career, you are full of ideas and innovations. So please tell us, what are the key ingredients which play a vital role in the production of great ideas?
Yeah, and we talked about it earlier, and I have prepared a little presentation about that. I would like to share it with you because sometimes a picture says more than
the words.
many words. So can you see my presentation?
Yes, we can see it now. Yes.
Unfortunately, good. Yeah. We start with good ideas and where they come from. And I really love to share these insights with you and the students because I think this is really important, especially for young people who are at the beginning of their ideas, so that they always remember if they need an idea, if they need to know something new, where can I look for it? And when I look at our more than 3,000 award winners from over the past years, I keep seeing that ideas don't originate from behind closed doors or individual inventors' stroke of genius. Instead, they are born from various people coming together and exchanging ideas, thinking about things together, brainstorming ideas, discarding them, and trying them out. So the best ideas arise from communication and collaboration, from networks, serendipity, and failing. Let's start with communication and collaboration. When you bring different people together around one table, you bring different strengths, talents, and experience and knowledge together. And all this is enriching. And this is something we want to actively support as Land of Ideas as well. Our mission is to bring creative people together. We advocate for exchanging ideas with other countries, seek to create encounters, and promote international and interdisciplinary dialogue. And by combining different disciplines and methods and ways of thinking, by breaking up disciplines, sometimes completely new, something completely new can be created. Interdisciplinarity is a buzzword right now, but it's not a new idea. It is based on the tradition of the universal scholar. One of the most famous one was probably Leonardo da Vinci, who embodied a wide range of talents: painter, sculptor, architect, anatomist, mechanic, engineer, and natural philosopher. And he came up with the greatest innovations of his time. And he too was always interested in the big questions of our future and how to create a better life. What a lot of people don't know is that Leonardo, who unlike many of his contemporaries, was extremely well groomed and paid great attention to cleanliness, organized Milan's first garbage collection system, which helped to significantly improve the quality of life in the city. And another universal scholar, or Universalgenie, as we call him in German, was Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, one of the greatest writers of all times. Besides being a poet, playwright, and novelist, he was also a scientist, a statesman, theater director, and critic. He was a man of many talents and thought, as we would say today, outside the box. His interests included architecture, archaeology, color theory, mineralogy, chemistry, and mathematics. In order to work interdisciplinary and to find peers to collaborate with, one thing is key: vibrant connections to many people from different backgrounds, or as we would say today, a strong network. Although the art of networking seems to be a very modern concept, the idea is almost as old as humanity. When humans began to settle down, they founded towns and cities. In other words, they created their first social network. And in this network, they could gather and communicate with each other. And that meant they could exchange, combine, adopt, and spread ideas. Even today, studies show that cities with their large heterogeneous networks and co-working spaces are disproportionately more creative than smaller towns. It is here that a wide variety of people come together, mingle, and bring forth ideas and innovations. Although the greatest network of all times is not a city, but a virtual place, the World Wide Web, where ideas are created, connected, and diffused more effectively and independent of time and space than in other networks before. And what makes a network successful? The idea of efficient networking doesn't have anything to do with how many business cards you hand out or how good are you at small talk. It's not about charming conversations. Real networking is about structure and resilient relationships. A good network is a system of trust and shared values, and only then ideas can develop freely. Let me come to serendipity. It is in those heterogeneous networks that we find another key ingredient for the creation of good ideas, serendipity. It is the happy coincidence, the unexpected discovery that often lead to innovations. In fact, a lot of discoveries were made by chance rather than intent. From penicillin to the popsicle, many great inventions happened because of an unplanned lucky coincidence. Random connections drive serendipitous discoveries. We sometimes find those in dreams as well as where ideas seem to connect at random. And in fact, neuroscientists have confirmed that sleeping on a problem helps solving it. Another way to foster serendipity is to just take a break from whatever task you are trying to solve. Take a walk, read a book, talking to friends. These very simple activities help the brain to relax and open up to new combinations of ideas. And that's why we sometimes have this eureka moment while taking a shower. Finally, let me come to failing. Having made a mistake or having failed is something we often like to forget and never talk about again. But if we want to develop innovations, we must recognize failure as an integral part of the process. Then the experience of not having achieved something is not associated with shame, but with pride of having dared to try it. The embracing failure, we learn something invaluable for our future. The knowledge of how things don't work out. This gives us a better advantage the next time we try. We can choose a different path, better understood the circumstances of a situation, recognize signs that we had previously overlooked. And another positive fact, we have already overcome a tricky situation and know that we can do it again. This keeps us flexible and gives us more options in new and unexpected situations. So let me stop here with my presentation, and I hope you enjoyed the little boy over there.
That was quite a very fantastic presentation, Ute. I particularly enjoyed the final bit, the failing part. I think it's something where I know in cultures where I grew up, you wouldn't talk about it. You'll see it as failing as something that you just don't want to think about, you don't want to talk about, you don't want to be associated with. And I find it quite refreshing and positive to see this as a key element that is important for great ideas, integral
I know
to growth.
we grew up in the same culture here in Germany.
Yes,
You usually don't talk about failure,
exactly.
and if you have failed, you try to hide it.
Hide it, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's been quite refreshing to see that as a key point that is integral to growth. Very important, especially for young students and of course, even for everybody who's watching this. Now, your platform, Deutschland Land der Ideen, like I've mentioned, has a network of over 3,000 innovative projects. You've also mentioned this. These include scientific, technical, and social innovations.
Mm-hmm.
So please explain to us, what is innovation and how is this relevant to everyone?
Yeah, I mean, for us at Germany Land of Ideas, it's important to grasp the term innovation in its entirety. Innovation is often seen as technological or economic progress, but for us, it has also a strong social aspect, and it exists in all areas of our society and improves our everyday lives in education and culture, as well as in business and science. And the idea is just, the initial part of it, and if it develops, then it becomes an innovation.
Quite interesting to know. When it comes to innovations, like, what defines the innovation? Like, how would it be classified as this is innovative or this is just an idea which wouldn't move forward? Is there any way we could define that, or is it?
Somehow an innovation is a successful implementation of an idea, I would say. Yeah, if
it's a great way to put it.
You would just put it in one sentence.
It's a great way to describe it. A selection of your innovations are showcased in your book, Die Macht der Ideen, which provides useful tips to those who are looking to launch a startup. We can see the book right behind you. And Ute, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you again for sending me a copy of your book. Some great innovations, great ideas. Highly recommended to anybody out there who hasn't read it yet. It's in German. Do we have a copy in English, or is it?
I'm sorry,
mainly?
No, we don't have.
No, it's mainly in German. Tell us a bit about your book and how this can help budding entrepreneurs.
So we created this book because we organized for 14 years a nationwide competition, and we wanted to show the best ideas and innovation from Germany. And this competition ended in 2019, and afterwards we said, oh, what have we learned about it? So how does innovation work in Germany? And therefore we thought that we take 30 projects or 30 winners of this competition and ask them if they would share their knowledge and their insight and experience with the next founders and entrepreneurs. And they did so. We have more than 200 tips in this book, and it also includes about 30 additional essays from experts, how to network and where to get the money and how to fail successfully. And finally, it also has the link to our website where we provide other links to practical institutions and show where to get the money and how to connect with other founders, for instance. So yeah, unfortunately, it's only in German because this competition was also only in German and in Germany, and therefore it's in German. But I hope many of your students also speak German. And if you like, you can send me a message either via LinkedIn, or I can also provide you my email address, and I would be happy to send you a copy.
So to all of you who are listening to us right now, you've already heard. So do take this opportunity to grab a copy from Ute's co-edited book, Macht der Ideen. It's a wonderful book. And like I said, if you're looking into starting a startup, if you want to have tips on leadership, we'll be talking about some more points throughout this webinar. Do get in touch. This is your chance. Now, Ute, we spoke about the importance of effective leadership during our call. What does effective leadership entail?
Yeah, effective leadership sounds so strong in a way. I mean, for me, effective leadership means not only knowing what am I doing, but also how I am doing things. And the how means for me that I build up a strong team that supports me in the implementation of the task and compensates also for my deficits. And teamwork, trust, and low hierarchies, I would say, are very important for my leadership style. And I guess everybody else has its own important things to tell you.
Yeah, but I quite like your leadership style. I mean, the key element of being a team, I think, is quite important, that everybody feels like they're valued and appreciated. And I think that's also a secret to it, to being an effective leader.
Yeah, and it's fun. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's fun. Otherwise, you are quite alone as a leader. If you take all the decisions, if you give all the directions, and I'm a team player. I don't want to be just the one and only who says yes or no. I discuss many things with my team. My team has also an insight of where does our company stands, how is the budget situation, what are the forecasts for the next years, how can we improve that, what went good, what went wrong. We all discuss this regularly in our team meetings.
It's good to be involved for the whole team, that they all feel they're a vital part of it. I
think so, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Your initiative also holds international competitions, for instance, the Beyond Bauhaus competition. And I read in one of your interviews, you received 1,500 ideas from over 50 countries. What is the process for submissions if one of our students or staff would like to share their ideas?
Mm-hmm. I mean, usually these competitions are only open for a limited period of time. For instance, the Beyond Bauhaus competition took place in 2019 during the 100th anniversary of the Bauhaus. And then during that period of time when we have the competition open, we have a digital tool where applicants can register, and afterwards an independent jury chooses the winners. So the last competition was a media prize for journalists who describe and explain us better what digitalization means. Yeah, we had the prize ceremony just 2 weeks ago. We had 4 winners out of 140 applications. Wow. And yeah, the next competition will probably be about digital places in Germany. We call it digitale Orte, which means villages, smaller cities, regions who have already a digital infrastructure and have now set up projects to improve, for instance, their public service or education, or have created new mobility concepts. And we will find out who the winner is at the beginning of next year.
People who are watching, if they want to follow these competitions, they can just go on the website, right? If you could.
Yes, they go on the website, and there is a section called competitions, and then they can see what kind of competition is on at the moment, and they can also see the previous competitions as well.
With so many ideas coming from various countries when it comes to these international competitions, what are some of the cultural differences that you have come across, and what needs to be taken into consideration?
Yeah, I mean, if we do just the nationwide competitions, then of course you also have some differences between the north and the south of Germany, as you know that.
Yes,
but it's stronger, of course, if you have an international competition, as we did with the Bauhaus competition. And for instance, when we got applications from China, we found out that these projects or these ideas very often showed solutions for the daily life problems. So smaller pieces, industrial design, which you can use in your household, for instance. On the other hand, applications from Brazil have been showed solutions for the poorer areas of the cities. And this was quite interesting for us as well. Why are there so big differences between China and Brazil? And of course, if you take the applications from Germany, these are much more technical and made by engineers. So they created new materials and new constructions, for instance. I don't know if this can be generalized. We didn't do a scientific research about that, but it was significant in this year that from the different parts of the world, they had different approaches to how to design the future.
It's quite an interesting observation to hear the differences in Brazil. It's about helping the local communities, the poor communities, whereas in China, it's about the day-to-day. It's interesting.
I got just one explanation, for instance, from a professor in China who said, you know, our students take care about the daily life problems because they think the bigger picture will be solved by the government.
So it's another way of thinking.
Yeah.
Can you give us some examples of the standout ideas that some people come up with?
Yeah, and if you don't mind, I will show you some pictures again, because then you can much better imagine what I'm talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
So back to my presentation. Yeah.
Yes, we can see it now.
Yeah, okay. Let's start with a collaboration between architects and bionic specialists. Sorry that I have to read it because there are some terms I can't remember in English otherwise. And this is a collaboration from the German University of Stuttgart. I think this is where you come from, Jackson.
Yes, that's where I went to university. Brings back memories.
Yeah, and together they created a highly innovative fiber pavilion and showed us how buildings in the future might look like. To come up with this very special architecture, a collaboration of architects and scientists worked together for several years on a new construction principle, a resource-efficient fiber construction that is light yet strong and stable. The building enables a completely new construction system by combining state-of-the-art computer technologies with construction principles from nature. And the pavilion supporting structure consists exclusively of fiber composite components that have been precisely fabricated by robots in an additive manufacturing process, so 3D printing. The result is an elegant 23-meter wide pavilion that is 5 times lighter than comparable steel structures, a demonstration for future-oriented, high-performance, lightweight structures. Another impressive project from our network was developed by the scientist Paolo Bombelli from Italy and 2 product designers from Britain. Together, they developed an innovative table, the MOS table, that can produce renewable energy through photosynthesis of living organisms, in this case moss, which is placed in small pots under the table pot. The innovators combined product design and science to create a piece of furniture that can produce electricity. And last but not least, another great idea that combines different disciplines is the so-called Microtree, a self-supporting structure made of fungal mycelium and bamboo, which opens up sustainable perspectives for the construction industry. This innovation was created by scientists at the Karlsruhe Institute of Technology and the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology in Zurich. Its components can be completely composted after their useful life. The material can be cultured anyway and binds nitrogen and carbon dioxide in the form of organic substrates. Because regenerative building material is still weaker than conventional building materials, researchers have developed an ideal geometry using 3D graphic statics in which only certain elements are subjected to pressure, thus lending stability to the whole structure, a genuine innovation and a visionary step into the future of sustainable construction. So that's the 3 examples from our Beyond Bauhaus competition.
Three very, very innovative ideas. I mean, quite exciting to hear what you can do even out of fungal material. I mean, it's very progressive. Has there been a surge in submissions with new innovations since the pandemic?
Yes, of course. In Germany, for instance, there was a nationwide hackathon. It was called Wir versus Virus. So we versus virus. And also a hackathon, we for school. And it also, I mean, they wanted to find new solutions because of the lockdown and there's pupils who have to stay at home. I think it's known everywhere that the German school system was not really ready to digital tools and solutions. So hopefully, although we had this pandemic and it was a strong challenge for everyone, I hope that we found some new solutions for some new business models. And also we created a platform to collect the best ideas to overcome the new situation, but also to show new business models in remote work, in virtual health solutions, for instance. And we called it Beyond Crisis, and you can still see it on our website.
Thank you, Ute. Wenn du schnell gehen willst, geh allein. Wenn du weit gehen willst, geh mit anderen. It's a quote from your book. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. Talk to us about the importance of networking and what makes a network successful.
Yeah, that's right. I think this is also a saying not from Germany, but from Africa. I described it already in my presentation. A successful network has nothing to do of how many business cards you have exchanged on that evening, but it's about a structure and resilient relationship. And in a good network, you have created trust and also shared values. Only then you are able to speak openly and to share ideas and come up with new solutions. Yeah, and I mean, I can tell you from my career, sometimes you meet people, you are just curious, you don't know exactly if this would be of any use in your further business or life. But then after sometimes a certain period of time, you meet this person again, and then you know exactly why you have met him or her. And then you sometimes do a project together or work together or even become friends. And I'm a networker by heart. To be honest, this is what motivates me also in my daily work. And a day when I meet somebody new, which I like, with whom I can share ideas and thoughts, this is a good day for me.
Sounds good. So I think the key point here is also for our students, networking, really important. Yeah. Even if you feel like you don't know what the purpose is, you met this person now, down the lane, one day, there might be a different story. And finally, for our students following this webinar, what advice would you give to a student wanting to embark on a similar career path as yours?
I don't know if this is really the best way to go on your career path. In my experience, you have two possibilities if you are young. Either you know exactly what you want. You want to become an astronaut, then you know exactly what steps you need to take to finally get your goal. But most of us probably don't know exactly what to do in the age of 18, 19, 20. And then I would just say, stay open, try out what you like, what you dislike, and try to become a member of a strong network there are many professional networks also for students. For instance, I joined Atlantikbrücke. This is a German-US network. Or if you are lucky, you can join YPO or other national or international networks. This is maybe one of the first steps, and these kind of relationships, they will last forever. You have something of that forever. And if you are lucky, you meet a mentor, and this mentor gives you guidance and opens doors to you. And I was lucky that I met my mentor when the wall came down. It was somebody from the western part of Germany. And first we worked together, and now we are friends for more than 20 years.
Great way to become friends, working together. Yes. And with that, we have come to the end of our time. We'll quickly switch gears and take a look at some of the questions we have received for the Q&A. Now, one of the questions we have received is, what made you want to go down the teaching route, and would you recommend becoming a music teacher? I think you already mentioned you wanted to do something that wasn't political, isn't it? Or didn't want to do something that was...
I wanted to study something apolitical.
Apolitical, exactly.
Apolitical, yeah.
Yes.
I think becoming a teacher is a very challenging profession, but it's very, very necessary, because the teachers, besides the parents, are the ones who are educating our next generations. For me, it was not the right path. That's why I skipped it after 1 year. But everyone has to find it out by him or herself. But I think this is a very, very important profession. If you have children one day and they go to school, you will be very, very thankful if they have good teachers, because usually your children, they adore their teachers and they do what they say and not what the parents say. So it's a very important profession. Music was not really valued when I was a teacher at school. And pupils asked me, why didn't you study anything else? So math or German or English, these are very important subjects. Music doesn't need anybody. And that's not true, because our world has changed a lot. And to somehow become more resilient as a human species, you need to train the skills only humans can be good at. So many things in our daily life or at work will be taken over by robots one day. But music and the arts is something which separates us, being creative, from robots. And I think this should be trained at school. And that's why I think music and the arts should become the most important subjects at school.
Very strong message. I wish my parents would be watching this. They had a different idea when I was studying pedagogic. They said, what are you studying this for? You should be doing something like engineering or medicine. So, but I really enjoy.
Yeah, you maybe don't become rich.
Yes.
You can earn your living becoming a teacher.
Yeah.
But I think you get much more and other things back from the pupils.
The feeling of fulfillment, of giving to society. It's a very fulfilling feeling. Do you have any ambition of making Germany, the land of ideas, a worldwide project?
That's our name does not include the world.
Oh.
So we were founded to promote the best ideas from Germany. But that's right. When I took over 5 years ago, I had very strong international connections, and as often as possible I try to reach out to other countries, and Germany can only stay a land of ideas if it's connected to Europe, if it's connected to other parts of the world. And that's why I'm very interested in the exchange of ideas. And that's why I'm also inviting other projects, other people coming to Germany and exchanging ideas and innovations with us.
And a final question to you: how do you motivate yourself to keep inspiring others with your work?
Yeah, one point I mentioned already. I'm always motivated when I meet interesting people. But on the other hand, I also felt that challenges motivate myself. So if everything is going right and the world is quiet and still and yeah, nothing is to do and to solve, this would maybe not be the right time for me. So I found out whenever it's challenging, whenever we have problems to solve, I got the kind of strength and want to do something about it. And this is also, for instance, what happened when the pandemic started. I said, who else than we, Germany, land of ideas, should show to our colleagues, brothers, sisters, and family that we will overcome this pandemic. We overcome already many other difficult situations. So where are your ideas? Where are your new business models? What can we transform into virtual models? How can we better work remotely together? Or how can we solve health problems by having a screen meeting with the doctor? And yeah, as soon as I found out that I'm right, that everywhere in Germany are people feeling the same and wanting to showing solutions, this gives me strength and motivates me every day.
On that lovely note, Ute, ich möchte mich recht herzlich bei dir bedanken. Thank you so much.
Sehr, sehr gern.
Thank you so much.
Schade, dass es schon zu Ende ist.
Ja, wirklich schade. Aber wer weiß, vielleicht sehen wir uns ja wieder auf ein anderes Webinar für Aircover. Thank you for sharing your expertise and insights with us. It's been such a pleasure to have you here with us. Ute, recht herzlichen Dank. Und to our viewers, thank you for joining us today. Vielen Dank, dass ihr dabei gewesen seid. We look forward to welcoming you back on the 20th of October at 3 p.m. British Summer Time, where we'll be welcoming Helena Shipman, Senior Associate of the law firm Carter Ruck, for the next Aircover webinar series. For more information, do subscribe to our YouTube channel. And until then, take care. Bye-bye. Auf Wiedersehen.
Wiedersehen.